Okay, so the earthquake or the volcanic event that I got and I'm doing is Iran earthquake 2003. So it occurred on December 26th in 2003, and it was a 6.6 on the Richter scale, which is categorized as a strong earthquake. Um, and it was in a city called Bam, which is like the province of in southeastern Iran, and it occurred at 5:26 a.m. Eastern Time. Um, it was known as the 2003 Bam earthquake. That's what online sources will tell you. And the cause of this was a stress on the Bam Fault. The Arabian plate was moving against the Eurasian plate northward, um, or has for a long time at about 1 inch per year, and so it eventually led to this event. So it had lots of human impacts. Um, First off, the societal impacts on the people. It caused a lot of deaths, estimated about 26,300 casualties and over 20,000 more injured, along with 120,000 people made homeless. Um, about 95% of homes were destroyed in this, so it was pretty devastating. And this wasn't just to the earthquake itself. Um, the casualties, a lot of it was inhaling the dust and rubble from all the buildings being destroyed. And along with this, famine came, which would kill off a lot more people. Infrastructure wise, it was obviously really devastating. Like I said, 95% of residential homes were left uninhabitable. Um, and the schools were all destroyed. So, I mean, leaving children with not much education to go off of. And an interesting statistic I found is that 48% of the population of the city of Bam is under 20. Um, so there was a ton of students that was affected by that. And of course, commercial areas, medical and health facilities were turned to rubble, which isn't good because there's all these injuries. Um, and basically, this caused a lot of people to move out of the area, um, which isn't good for the economy. And as we're getting into the economic impacts, we learned that this is a big agricultural city, and all these people are moving away. I mean, their crop fields are being destroyed, so I mean, even if they left temporarily, it has a huge impact on the economic status, which is still recovering, by the way. This is just a map of the population that's affected by this, and then there's also, of course, environmental impacts. Basically, there was oh, I mean, there's a lot of factors in this, but I have some of the main ones. The displacement of soil, because all the seismic activity, erosion was caused, and large quantities of soil was being displaced. And it was a big agricultural city, so I mean, you can imagine a lot of the soil being displaced. And then, of course, it has an impact on the water sources. Um, when an earthquake happens, it can affect the permeability of the soil, and that affects underground water sources that people use for consumption and a lot of agriculture, which is big there. And then we get into agricultural impacts. Obviously, a lot of damage to the farmland, and the irrigation systems were destroyed. Soil composition was changed. It wasn't good. Air quality. This is from like the rubble from a lot of the infrastructure being demolished, and it people were inhaling all this dust and pollutants, and it was deadly. And this is just a map showing some areas of aftershocks of the earthquake. Some additional facts I decided to go and find as a result of the earthquake that I found interesting or that I thought was helpful in researching this. So after the event, I learned that there was around 2,000 estimated widows, 1,200 orphans, their parents died, and 3,000 more with only one parent because one of them died, and 400 people were permanently disabled. I also learned that the United Nations reported that around 90% of the structures and in the city in Iran were mostly damaged, around 60 to 100%, and the remaining were about 30 to 60% damaged. So that just shows how big it was. Um, and there was something large numbers of qanats, which is a type of irrigation system that's very big in Iran that everyone uses, where it derives water from highland aquifers. They were destroyed, um, which was terrible because it provided around 75% of Iran's water supply. So that was pretty devastating. I haven't talked so far about the rock slides, which is a major thing. Um, this area which the earthquake took place in is very prone to rock slides, and they had severe damage to the landscape, and they could kill people, and they did. And then here are the sources that I got my information from.